Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and UNT show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in. Welcome, world. Welcome to the Jamie and UNT show right here on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's October 25th, 2022. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot because my mom's birthday's today. So happy birthday to my mom out there. I know she's not going to listen. She's going to be like, oh, why are you on the show? Or why you cuss so much? Well, because you got to look past it. But anyways, Detroit versus Dallas. What do we feel? What would you grade Dak's performance? Now, before I bring Gabe in, which, by the way, I haven't seen him in about a couple of weeks. What I think about this game in the first half was pretty boring. You know, not enough movement, not enough offensive plays called. You know, even though our defense was pretty spectacular, Detroit had opportunities, but they couldn't capitalize, and that's why they're the Detroit Lions. They can't capitalize on anything. You know, a spotty quarterback in Jared Goff, you know, he's not there. He cannot be your quarterback for the future, Detroit. He cannot. I mean, this is why y'all will go one, sadly to say, y'all might be the number one pick looking for a quarterback, which I've been watching college football every Saturday or any time that I watch a highlight. I haven't seen any quarterback out there in college that's putting up spectacular numbers out there. I haven't seen it. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it. But without further ado, let's bring Gabe in.
What's going on? What's going on, man?
Yeah, it's a good day. It's a
long
good day.
time no see,
It's
man.
been a while. It's been a while, man. I've been trying to get your opinions on these games, man.
Yeah, man.
So Dak, right? Mm-hmm. So I was telling my people that Cooper should get one more start. I was hoping he'd start this game because, you know, Detroit didn't show much. But I was pretty surprised during the week, but Dak actually said, I'm going to come back and play, which he didn't play that bad. To me, I'll give him a B+. I want to know what your grade of Dak's performance is.
Yeah. So my grade, I give him a C+.
Okay.
First half of the game, he was out of his rhythm. He was uncomfortable, naturally coming back from an injury like that. But second half, he turned it up a little bit.
Okay.
They started running. They started calling better plays.
Right.
He wasn't trying to force the ball as much. So it got him up to a C+. I only grade Dak against himself, right?
Okay.
So that C+ is compared to Dak performances.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a C+. It was a decent performance. It was a good performance considering he was just coming back. Going to your Cooper Rush point, I feel that this was the perfect game for Dak to come back because we're not playing against a serious opponent. Like, let's just say he would have came back against Philly, and we lose that game the same way that we lost it with Cooper Rush.
Right.
Oh my God, all hell would break loose.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
This was a great game for him to come back, get his rhythm back. Chicago next week, another game that's going to be good to get rhythm back. And then we have a bye week after that. So we're kind of sitting in a good position right now.
Okay. Now, granted, I feel like Cooper Rush needed to get hit in the mouth. And I said this last week. This was a hit in the mouth game. The Philly game was.
Yeah.
And we'll see them again. You know, Dak will be 100% healthy and all that stuff. We'll see them again. But I feel like, I give him a B+ because I just feel like they call more plays for him, more than Cooper Rush did. I give him a B+ because he was able to roll out. He was able to take hits, which he stood back up. He made some accurate passes, even though we don't have the receivers. And that's another point, too. We got to go out there and get some receivers. I mean, I see Odell's name pop up every single week. And I feel like these teams who are injury prone right now, I don't know which receiver is injured, running back, sorry. I feel like there's going to be an injury away from signing Odell. I don't know if it's going to be the Cowboys, but you need that number one security blanket for Dak. It's not going to be Dalton Schultz. It's not going to be a C.D. Lamb. It's definitely not going to be a Noah Brown, because even though Noah Brown has balled out, the chemistry, I don't see the chemistry lasting between Dak and Noah Brown. I think Noah Brown works better with Cooper Rush because they were on the second team together in practice. And so, but back to my grade, I give him a B+ because, I mean, he struggled early, but then he was able to, control the line of scrimmage, call his own plays, call his own number. Even though the play calling was horrible, he was able to make up for it. And so, moving forward, you got to get your legs in. I understand that. Chicago's next, and I took a sneak peek of them. They're not a joke. Their 3-4 is not a joke. Even Justin Fields has been hit a lot, and it's another team that you should take care of. But then again, it's like you don't want to look past their record.
Yeah. I think with Chicago, it's not about a record. It's about personnel.
Right.
They run a very similar offensive style to Philadelphia.
They do.
Which doesn't necessarily bode well for our defense, but at the same time, they don't have the same personnel that Philly does. No. So we got beat by Philly because of just coaching. Honestly, we got out-coached.
We did.
Our defense was all over the place, just confused. It wasn't even that we were out of position so much. It was just they found a great way to neutralize Micah Parsons.
Right.
Chicago has the capability to do that too. They just, like I said, they don't have the personnel or the coaching to orchestrate a plan like that. And I think because we've seen it now, it changes the way that we view it. We'll probably be able to defend it a little bit better, especially going into when I think of playing Philly again in a few weeks.
I think Chicago. I think Chicago-wise, I think they run. They're run heavy. They have. I think David Montgomery is not a joke. I think Justin Fields is not a joke either with his legs. And even though his offensive line has been a little spotty, and he's been hit a lot. I think over 20 times.
Yeah.
This year, so you can get to Justin Fields. It's just that what I worry is that the running game. How are we going to defend the running game? Because we barely defended Detroit's running game, even though they didn't have Swift, which I was hoping to play, I was seeing him to play, and then Jamal Williams is just Jamal Williams. So, but I don't want to look past Chicago. I think Chicago's got a good team. I think it's going to be a dogfight. Justin Fields is not a joke. I just think he needs the line. He needs another line to protect him better.
Yeah,
and it's not going to get any better when you play against us.
Yeah.
We had 5 sacks. I mean, we had 5 sacks, and then neutralizing Micah Parsons, they got to figure out a way to. He's either got to adjust his game or they got to keep him occupied. Like in the Philly game, they ran a lot of run pass option, to his side, and he was able to adjust. I feel like every team in the league's going to say, hey, we're going to do what Philly did, and
every team can't do what Philly did. I want to put that in perspective too. Every team cannot do what Philly did.
Right.
Philly has the best roster, top to bottom, of any team in the NFL.
But they didn't show us. They didn't show like they have the best roster. Yes. But they didn't. But on field, they didn't show us. They're the best.
But my point in bringing up the roster is because you have so many players that you have to honor. So defensively, if you're scheming for Philadelphia, let's just say, all right, yeah. So I'm gonna scheme to primarily. I'm gonna let every other receiver except for AJ Brown beat us.
Okay.
That's not gonna work because they're gonna beat the brakes off of you. And so I'm gonna focus on the run. Okay,
Right.
Now they throwing it over the top.
Right.
Like they have so many things that they can do with the ability with the running quarterback who has the ability to break the defense open. So now it's hard. It's a very difficult team to scheme for.
So you're talking about Philly, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Philly.
Okay.
They're a very, very difficult team to scheme for. So it's hard for me to say that every team's going to watch the film of what Philly did and be able to duplicate it because they can't.
Right.
You literally cannot do that with that same personnel. With the because there's no other team in the NFL that has that.
Okay. So, I agree with you. Take back my point. So, what can Chicago, right? So what's the difference between Chicago and Philly? Because they both have running quarterbacks.
They do.
And so to me, what you can do in order for Justin Fields to beat you, keep him in the pocket. So I say, maybe rush 4 or 5, bring a safety blitz, maybe bring a Donovan Wilson, because you don't have Jordan Lewis in this game.
Yeah,
he's your nickel corner. You don't have him. Bring Donovan Wilson on the safety blitz. Bring Sam Williams, who is Micah Parsons 2.0. Bring him on the outside, so that when Michael gets blocked, you got another person who can go after the quarterback. You got 2 people. So basically, you're saying 6 in the box, basically.
Yeah,
you can run at Justin Fields, but Justin Fields can run too.
The thing about Justin Fields, though, he can't beat you by himself.
He can't.
He doesn't have a lot to work with. It's not like
no, he does not.
There's nothing like Jalen Hurts.
No,
Jalen Hurts can beat you by himself.
He can.
He can beat you with his arm, and he can beat you by handing the ball off.
Right. Well, I have to because that game, right? Even Miles Sanders has 71 yards. I don't think when you play them again, I don't think he'll get to at least 70. Yes, he can beat you handing it off, but I think that more than likely throw it over the top. So they have like three great wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I think we can shut down the running game, their running game, but he can beat you running, or he can beat you, like you said, over the top.
I just think that the Philly has a lot of diversity in their offense. Like they're far from one dimensional, and I think that's what makes them difficult to defend.
Right.
But I don't want to keep leaning on Philly because I hate Philly, and I'm not about to sit up here and give them all of this praise. But I gotta call it like I see it.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't because they're not. They're 6-0 because they're making big plays.
And they're 6-0 because they have an easy schedule, just like
they do. Exactly.
Our entire division has a very easy schedule outside of Washington.
Exactly. Well, Washington just beat Green Bay. Who would have known?
Exactly.
And so, this is going to be to the point where and at that point, and I do have one question for you. So at this point, you got to win these games. Yeah. Every game is a must. Like if you go into the Bears game and you look past them, they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
And this is a game where it says winnable on everything. Like I saw ESPN's predictions 88%, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, ESPN, you can't. I analyze. Okay, I get it, but you can't look past that team.
And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm comfortable with saying that we will beat Chicago, and the reason is because of the defense that we have.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think people really understand the Detroit offense that we just played. That's one of the highest scoring offenses in the league, and we held them to 6 points.
Yeah,
like
true.
I don't think people really get it because they're not a good team on paper, but that's one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. They put 30 points on Philly week 1.
Yeah,
well, it might have been more points than that, but regardless, that was a very, very good offense that we just played. Granted, they were missing St. Brown and the running back.
St. Brown went out with a concussion.
They were missing some pieces, so that was a major factor in it. But at the same time, that offense is still that offense. And so, I mean, we even held Philly to 26. We're playing good offenses. We haven't played a lot of trash offenses, so far.
Right, and like I said, Philly didn't show us anything. Like we can play with them. We can. Yeah. We can literally can. We just the only thing they do better than us is they have their quarterback's mobile than ours.
Yeah,
and I would say that.
And I think we got intimidated. The first half, I think we got intimidated by all of that movement.
Right.
On the defense. They were moving a lot. It was a lot of RPOs. It was a lot of options. It was a lot of this, that, and that. So it was a lot going on.
You couldn't find a way to adjust.
Yeah.
I would say I would have said call timeout and try to make adjustments on defense. Mm-hmm. That's why you're up there for a reason.
Yeah.
So
because the second half they didn't score against the fourth quarter.
No, they scored. Yeah,
they scored one touchdown.
Exactly, and that was a killing drive because. But again,
we were making a comeback.
Right, we
were only down by 3 at that point.
We were. It's just Cooper Rush needed to. He had a clean pocket the whole entire game. It's just he made some awkward throws, and he played like a backup.
Yeah,
that game. We can't. People are saying, well, on the groups that I follow on Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. They're saying we want Cooper Rush. They're saying Dak is garbage, and I always defend Dak because Dak's our guy.
Yeah,
Dak is creative. Dak can go for 30 points. I don't know if you saw that stat on Sunday where, when Dak's in the game, you average 30 points. Cooper Rush, 21. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, Dak's creative. Cooper Rush is the game manager.
Exactly.
So you can't.
Dak is a starter. At the end of the day, he's a starter and he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
He is.
You can't name 10 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott. Sorry.
You can't.
Like, as much as people don't really rock with Dak right now because of the injuries and all of his inconsistencies, whatever.
Right.
He's still a top 10 quarterback in the league.
But Cooper Rush has inconsistencies too. Even though he makes the plays, he has some inconsistencies.
If you make him have to beat you, you're gonna lose.
Right. That's what Philly did.
That's what Philly did. They put us in a position where Cooper Rush got to throw this ball and beat us.
Right.
Y'all not gonna be able to run for 150 yards.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No. Cooper Rush, you put the ball in Cooper Rush's hands, you saw the ball floating all over the field. Just throwing ducks all over the place. It was a mess.
It was.
It was a mess. And
it was.
Because that's not his game.
No, it's not. It's
not his game at all.
It's not. And we Cooper Rush did his thing. He went 4-1. We still have a great defense. I never seen any defense better than us this season. I could be wrong, but this season we're in the top 10 defense overall.
We're top 3.
Top 3.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head
because I could say Kansas City has the top offense, but their defense is horrible.
Buffalo has a decent defense.
Oh God, they're all over the place.
But they're very inconsistent.
The only problem with Buffalo.
I can't name too many defenses.
Mm-hmm. The only problem with Buffalo is that it's just they're always second guessing.
Yeah.
Right. Josh Allen, he's always second guessing himself, and it creates problems for the offense.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. But as far as this game goes and the next game, it has win all over it. It's just we gotta start off strong. We gotta start off. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Turpin being in the game on offense, though. I just feel like he's a special teams guy.
I agree.
I feel like they're trying. I feel like Kellen Moore is trying to over. I can't find the word.
They want to use that speed, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at them wanting to use that speed. He's the fastest player on the team.
He is. It's just,
and I do think that there's room for him to be used on offense. Now, how? I'm not a coordinator, so I don't know specifically where he would fit because our offense is very.
That's a question.
Hand the ball off, play action. Like we're very simple.
That's
what
a question,
we should be.
That's a question for Kellen Moore. Like, where do you put Turpin on offense?
Yeah.
Because I don't like the in the round of CeeDee Lamb catching the ball, because that's making CeeDee Lamb useful. CeeDee Lamb is supposed to be a deep threat, and he's not a deep threat. Michael Gallup is supposed to be a deep threat, but Michael Gallup has not got his footing right. Yeah. Dalton Schultz is supposed to be security players. Dalton Schultz has not played well enough. Mm-hmm. And the two rookie tight ends, the Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot, I want to see those guys on the field more than Dalton Schultz, because those guys have a game.
Those guys are athletic. They're athletic. Dalton Schultz catches the ball and he falls.
Right.
And if he doesn't catch the ball and fall and he tries to run with it, he's going to fumble. He's going to immediately. He's going to drop the ball.
He's a liability.
He's a liability more so than an asset. And I think that Hendershot and
Jake Ferguson.
They're way more athletic.
They are.
They make plays.
They are.
They block well. They're true tight ends.
Exactly. That's what my tight end is supposed to be. My tight end is supposed to be like Travis Kelce type. Where Kelsey can play. He can play in the slot. He can play. He can block well. He can block, and he can be a security player. But except that between Kelsey and Schultz, Kelsey can give me 10 extra yards. Schultz can give me like 5. So that's the difference. So I want to see more creativity with the tight end spot. I want to see Hendershot. I want to see Jake Ferguson go out and catch a pass. Yeah. Which Peyton Hendershot can have some moves out there.
Hendershot likes to jump over people.
He does.
He needs to stop that. He needs to stop, because somebody's going to knock him out. Somebody's going to knock him all the way out.
I do see that, though.
Like, because I've seen him do it twice, and I was like, the first time I was like, okay, yeah, he did it clean. I was like, that was dope. Cool. And then he did it on Sunday, and I was like, all right. You doing this in the midst of there's 3 people around you. Like, are you trying to get knocked out? Like,
that's showing the team. That's showing up the team. Like, I could do this on the field. I could do. I could do this move. I could do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think at some point he needs to slow it down, because the injuries in the NFL are up right now.
Zeke learned.
Yeah, like
I ain't seen Zeke jump over nobody in 3 years. Well, he did it on Sunday, I think.
Kind of. There was a concern on Sunday that I think it was a contusion. I was listening to the podcast that the Cowboys do, was Broadus and Eagleton and Eatman and the girl Amber Garcia. Well, I think that's her name.
Yeah, I think that's her name.
And I think it's a contusion. I don't know, knee contusion or leg. I can't remember what they said, but some type of contusion, and it was concerning. I listened to it on the radio. It was concerning for me, because I was like, "No, we can't lose our running back because he's been playing well."
Yeah,
I like the fact that he's getting yards.
Yeah,
and he has not lost a step. It's just that
he doesn't have to carry the load.
He doesn't have to. And the awkward thing, which could be a good thing, is that they're putting him at fullback. You see that? Yeah. Like, he's getting the 1 yard and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay. I mean, this is something. Like, this is just to keep Pollard on the field and keep defenses honest.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the old Jacksonville Jaguars when they were doing the Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew era. It was that kind of like thunder and lightning kind of vibe, and I like that. Yeah. I actually like the balance of that, because you really don't know, like
who's getting the football.
Yeah, you don't know who's getting the football. You don't know how the play is going to work.
Right.
If we had a better play caller, this would even be even better. But I think Kellen Moore is extremely overrated.
A better play caller will be very creative and let Dak or Cooper Rush run the offense. Between like when I say that is. Dak can call his own plays, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Cooper Rush, they didn't open the playbook for him. I was anxious to see what he can do more, instead of just passes to Noah Brown, which is great. But I want to see crossing routes. I wanted to see slant routes. I want to see deep routes.
But you saw when they had to open it up. You saw the results of that.
I saw that.
So that's probably what I get from a coaching standpoint why, like, nah, I'm not about to let you throw the ball down the field 30 times a game. No, sit down. Like,
no, I'm not saying I'm not saying throw the football. When you have two great running backs, I'm not saying throw the ball 30 times a game. What I'm saying is keep it under 30. Like, if you keep it under 30, you win the game. That's happened with Dak.
Yeah,
like Dak, every Cowboys fan knows this. Except for the ones that want to wear the jerseys and support Jerry and all that stuff. They don't know that. They're just fans. Bandwagon fans. Us and other people, we know that we can under 30 attempts between those guys, we win the game. Like Cooper Rush had 38 attempts, and I'm like, we're 18 for 30. I'm like, this is garbage. We cannot win this game against Philly. When it's meaningful. And I'm pretty sure that game in Christmas Eve is meaningful. Will be meaningful, depending on where we're at.
Oh, trust me. If you look at our schedule, right? So we got Chicago,
and then
got a bye.
week.
Then we got
The Packers,
Green Bay. Then we got Minnesota,
and
then we got
the Giants on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, we got the Giants on Thanksgiving, which I thought was weird
because they're on the same week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to think. Hold on. Who's after the Giants?
I can't remember.
I think it might be Washington.
That's at Washington.
That's at Washington.
Okay.
Hold on.
I know we play Tennessee somewhere.
Okay, so
or Houston.
Yeah, we got Giants. We got Indianapolis after the Giants on the 4th,
and that's Thursday, right?
That's a Sunday night game.
Sunday night.
No, yeah, Sunday night against Indianapolis.
What?
Yeah.
At their place or here?
It's here.
Okay.
So we got Indianapolis at home, Houston at home. Then we got go to Jacksonville.
Okay.
Then we got Philly on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Tennessee on the 29th. That's Thursday game.
Okay.
And then we finish with Washington.
Okay.
So feasibly, that Philadelphia game is going to be very, very important. I don't see
depending on where we're at, because I think Philly took their bye. Right. I don't know who they play after the bye. When you mentioned that schedule, right? Okay.
After the bye, they have Pittsburgh, by the way.
Oh, we do?
Pittsburgh. No,
Philly plays with Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, they
have an incredibly easy schedule.
Philly does?
Yes.
but they can beat themselves.
Yeah,
because my point, I did watch Pittsburgh and Miami, and, you got to give credit to Mike Tomlin for what he's trying to do. And I'm not saying he's a lame coach. He's not a lame coach. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
And he, put Kellen Pickett in the right spot. It's just that Kellen Pickett is a rookie.
Yeah.
And he makes rookie mistakes like he did I think they were on the 35-yard line with under a minute left. They had the game. Yeah. They had it. They had Miami. It's just that Miami, they were lucky to get out of that game.
Yeah.
They were lucky. Pittsburgh played well. It's just that Kenny Pickett's a rookie. He makes rookie mistakes. And back to the schedule, though. So the Bears bye, and then the Packers, Minnesota, the Giants. So I look at those games, right? And I said, okay, the Bears, okay, that might be something. The Packers, in their place, they're struggling right now. Like this
and they sound like they're giving up.
Right.
To be totally honest.
Is that
because they're going to be coming to us after playing Buffalo.
No, see, there you go. There you go. Like
so.
There you go. Like that. I mean, to me, I look at the body language of Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't care anymore. And it started to linger. It started to follow his team a little bit more. And so, if he don't care anymore, this is a game where you can actually go up there and get a victory. Minnesota, which, by the way, I have a question for you. So between those two teams in the NFC, right? You got Minnesota at 5-1.
Yeah.
You got the Giants at 6-1. Okay. So, with that being said, between those two teams, who do you fear the most?
Between Minnesota and the Giants?
Between Minnesota and the Giants,
Minnesota,
I'm going to give you one more team. one more NFC team.
Okay.
I can give you Washington. Washington made a quarterback change. They have won 2 straight. Or I can give you.
I thought you was gonna say like San Francisco.
No.
Seattle.
No. I will not give you those teams. I will not give you those teams. I will give you one more team. I'll give you. I won't give you the Buccaneers. I definitely won't give you Carolina. Not New Orleans. I'll give you the Falcons. So between Minnesota, the Giants, Washington, and the Falcons, those 4 teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you fear the most?
Minnesota.
You fear Minnesota.
Minnesota's the only for real team that you stated.
But don't you think? But
I don't think the Giants are for real. We beat them already.
Okay,
Like
so
they're gonna lose to Philly.
Right. They're probably going to lose to Washington if you keep high. And I said to somebody, you keep Angelo. I said to Angelo last week. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago when they were playing Washington. I said, if you keep Heineke at quarterback, all the receivers, they have decent receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They need the football.
Yeah.
Heineke can deliver that football. He didn't play bad last year.
No, he didn't.
It's just that they need the football to perform, and they're getting the football.
Yeah.
And so I want if Heineke is going to start, I want him to keep going for the rest. And then it's not my decision, not our decision. I want him to keep going.
I personally don't care what Washington does. I feel like they don't have enough to compete in this division. Like, to be honest, like, you're in the toughest division in football right
You
now.
are. But they can easily make the playoffs, though.
No, they can't. They're 4th in the.
No, I'm sorry. Not easily. I'm sorry. Not easily. No, there's.
Not at all. No,
there's 7 spots, right? Is there 7 spots or 6?
There's 7. But the thing about it, the reason why I say they're not is because they would have to get a 3rd place. They would have to get at least 3rd place in our division, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, there's no way in the world that that's happening.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying if you keep Heineke at quarterback, you never know the end results. I'm saying
long term, yes.
Long term,
but
yes.
They're not
but it's not our
team.
decision.
Yeah.
But no, I understand that. I'm not saying that. But if you want my answer between those 4 teams I mentioned, first of all, I don't fear Minnesota is going to struggle because Kirk Cousins, this is his time of the year to peak. When the calendar turns November, December, he's going to peak.
Yeah.
Like, he's not that team.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, on the other hand, to me, I give the slight edge to the Giants because the Giants, I mean, it seems like a fresh of life for them, right? New coach, Daniel Jones has started to play a little bit better. It hasn't been the best, but he's playing a little bit better. And Saquon, he's gotten a whole lot better. They don't have receivers. They have a decent defense. They still can't compete in the NFC East, and I do fear the most because I do think that they'll make adjustments later on. And that's the one game I'm looking forward to on that schedule. I'm not looking forward. I mean, I think the next 3 games, including this Bears game, I think we got a winnable schedule.
Oh, extremely winnable.
And the Giants are not a joke.
I'm gonna tell you something about the Giants, right?
Okay.
So, I'm looking at the Giants schedule right now as we're talking.
Okay.
They got Seattle next week.
Okay. That's not an easy game.
They're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that on record.
They're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose that game.
Yes.
They get a bye week.
Okay.
Then they got Houston. That'll be a win for them.
They
Detroit.
got okay. All
Detroit.
right.
That'll be a win probably. Okay.
They'll find a way to lose to the lesser teams.
Yeah, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come see us.
Okay, that's Thanksgiving.
On Thanksgiving.
So at that time of the week, they'll still, and that's what 3:30 game.
Yeah, 3:30.
Damn, I don't know why they make that's so awkward. Because it's like last year we played the Raiders and it's like 3:30 game, and then that's where everybody's like, okay, we're gonna. That's where everyone tunes. We don't tune into the Detroit game. I'm pretty sure they play against somebody.
Yeah.
Damn. I wish we were the night game, honestly.
Yeah, and we probably should be, but
we should be.
It's neither here nor there. So the reason I say Thanksgiving on down is where their schedule gets ridiculous.
Okay.
Because they got all of their division matchups. They got us again on Thanksgiving, obviously. They got Washington on. Okay. They got Washington, then Philly, then Washington again. Then they go to Minnesota.
Oh my gosh.
Then they got Indianapolis, and then they finish with Philly. So you telling me right now that that's where we're gonna find out who the Giants really are is after Thanksgiving. I don't want to talk about the Giants till after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Fair enough. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So at that point after Thanksgiving, we would beat them, right? When we beat them, we should be in second place. Better yet,
we might be in second place after this week.
Right. If we take care of business against Chicago and they lose to Seattle, which they will,
we already got the tiebreaker. We immediately move into second place.
We got second place. So damn. Wow.
That's my point.
That is
that's my point.
Right.
The Giants are not for real until I see how they move after Thanksgiving. Don't talk to me about the Giants. Giants fans, hear me and hear me well. Don't talk to me about your team.
My buddy's a Giants fan.
Yeah, I'm talking to him then. Don't talk to me about your team until after Thanksgiving. I don't want to hear from none of y'all until after Thanksgiving.
Now, when you beat a quality team, Seattle is. I mean,
Seattle is. They might win that division.
They might win that division. Yeah, they will. I mean,
Geno's playing out of his mind.
He is, and I haven't been a big Geno fan. I felt like
nobody has.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are they doing over there? But then again, they drafted well, especially on defense, and so wow, okay, so it just sets this up to be something special, right? We don't fool around in these games. Take care of business. By the time November 27 hits or 28, we should be locked in second place or maybe in first place.
Yeah, and the thing about it,
maybe
I don't see Philly losing, to be honest, until they see us on Christmas Eve.
I don't. So are you saying they might be undefeated till Christmas Eve?
Yes. I don't think Okay, I'm gonna just go through their schedule too. Might as well go through it.
Go ahead, and then we'll transition. Go ahead.
Yeah. So give me 1 second to pull it up.
Okay.
So they got Pittsburgh on the 30th.
Okay, that's a win.
They got Houston.
That's a win.
Then they got Washington.
God. When's that Washington game?
It's a Monday night.
I don't know. You got to put a question mark on that.
Do you really?
Is it in Washington or in Philly?
It's in Philly.
Okay, that's a win.
Then they got Indianapolis.
Okay,
that's a win.
That's a win. That's 10-0. Okay.
They got Green Bay,
11-0.
Tennessee,
11-1. Because I think Tennessee has. They have a decent defense, but their offense is kind of suspect. But I feel like they'll win that game somehow.
We're gonna agree to disagree on that because I think they're gonna beat the brakes off of Tennessee.
So you're saying 12-0. I'm saying 11-1.
I'm saying I got them at 12-0. Then they go see the Giants.
Okay, that's 12-1. Because it is in New York, right?
It's in New York.
Ooh. God.
If you really have that much faith in the Giants, go for it. But I don't.
Wow. No, I'm going to say 11-2.
Then they got Chicago.
12-2. Yeah,
okay.
12-2.
I still got them at 14-0. So
damn.
Then they come see us on Christmas Eve.
14-0 was us.
I got them 14-1 after us.
God.
Then they,
things have to happen. Things have to happen for them to go 14-1.
Oh yeah,
I had them at 12-3.
That's not crazy either. You're probably more realistic. I'm probably just exaggerating because I'm like, because honestly, I just don't see these teams competing with them.
Well,
they would have to beat themselves, like we talked about.
They have to. Well, you got to understand that the NFL is made for upsets, right?
Yeah.
Like for example.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compare Brady to Hurts. Look at Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. Look at Pittsburgh. They beat Tampa last week, and then now they lose to Miami. But Carolina, they have no quarterback.
That's a fact.
And they still beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They held Tom Brady to 3 points. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to trade their whole entire team.
Yeah.
They've traded 2 players in the same week.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so the NFL is all about upsets. You don't know what team is going to fear every single week. That's why I'm a little nervous for this game against the Bears. I shouldn't be, but I am because I feel like we'll screw around and lose that game, which we shouldn't.
I get it. I understand it. The Bears are a decent team, and I do understand where you're coming from on that. I think we also understand that we can't afford to lose right now with Dak.
Because here's the thing.
Given the fact that Dak is just now getting back, for us to lose to a team like Chicago,
right,
it's not going to fly well.
But everybody would be like, everybody, your friends and my friends, and then, everybody online would be like, we need Cooper Rush back. Exactly. You're going to hear that from Halloween till about the Packers game. You're going to hear that for 2 weeks.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm going back to this Philly thing. Mm-hmm. By the time they get to us, they probably would have clinched, so that game may not even matter to them.
Probably will. I mean, you're talking about clinch the
playoff. Yeah, they probably would have clinched the division by then. Either it would have been a division clinching, or they would have definitely clinched the playoffs.
Right. If for sure. If they're going to,
depending on where we're at, it might be important just for who's getting the bye week, who's not.
Right. They had their bye week.
Yeah,
they just took their bye week, and so we're in the bye week with the Giants, right? The Giants had the same week as bye week as us? Because I know Giants have played every game so far.
The Giants, they have a week 9 bye.
A week 9 bye. So
they
that's
have the following week.
The following week. So that's the 13th. Because our bye
no,
week's
my bad.
6th.
We also have week 9. So yeah, we do have the same bye week.
Okay, then damn. Okay, all right. So we can't lose this game. We can't screw around and lose. Because they'll be like, well, you got to answer questions. And you see, like, oh, we got to go back to Cooper Rush. No, you got to, like I said, you got to take your hit in the mouth, like the boxer Carissa Stevens, who hit that girl in the mouth. That girl stayed up on her feet for 10 rounds. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. So you got to take your hit in the mouth. And honestly, you read the Dallas schedule. I think we'll lose one more division game. I don't know which one, but it could be the Giants. If we lose one more game, divisional game, I would say the Giants.
I say Washington week 18 or week 17.
But then again, depending on where we're at, we would have played our second guys.
Yeah,
like we would have allowed Dak to rest, but then again, Dak has some mentality. I want to play. Okay, when you go 13-4, you have everything clinched. You have nothing to play for. Yeah. Nothing. Like,
it's crazy that we're in a division where we could potentially have 3 teams with 11 or more wins.
Right. That's crazy.
That's insane.
I'm like, you have nothing to play for. You can play for pride. You can play for the following week, but then again, you're going to you see what I mean? Like the game last year.
Yeah.
Like San Francisco was riding on momentum, and they end up beating y'all.
Yeah.
So,
and that's kind of why I want to be a wild card team. I want to fly under the radar this year.
You do.
I do, because the thing about it, right? Let's just say we get into a situation where. Let me go to the playoff standings as it is right now, right? Right. So as it is right now, Philly is the number 1 seed. Obviously, Minnesota is 2, Seattle is 3, Tampa Bay, then the Giants, then us. That's the perfect little sweet spot.
Wow. So both of us.
That means we would probably be getting, like, what, Seattle first round.
And that'll be at their place.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
You're not mad at that
at all, because I know Seattle don't have the team with what we have right now. There's not a lot of teams outside of Philadelphia that I fear in the NFC.
No, I don't fear anybody. You're right.
So that's why it don't matter whether we go to Seattle, whether we here, whether we not. I don't care.
Whether we go to Tampa Bay, we might go to Tampa Bay. But then again, Tampa Bay is only 3-4.
Yeah, they're 3-4.
But that division in NC South can go either way. That's why I mentioned the Falcons, because the Falcons, they're no joke either. Like, the Falcons have nothing on their team, and they're still in it with the I think they're 3-4.
Yeah.
So the Falcons,
and it could be San Francisco again too. Like, they're only a game behind Seattle.
They could.
It's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up.
Every other division is a toss-up except for ours.
Yes, exactly.
Ours is a toss-up too. I take that back.
No,
because
I can't.
It can either be Philly or us or the Giants right now. If we're looking at it just as it is,
you know what I would rather have. I would rather have the first seed. Okay. I want the bye, because I want us to take the week to go over some things. I want to watch teams. I want to watch teams just, make adjustments. I want to watch those teams.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I have PTSD from us having a first round bye. The few times that it's happened.
Right. You're right.
I mean, I have extreme PTSD from that. So if we could fly under the radar, be a wild card team, play on the road, play the long game. Like we've been playing it all season. We've been playing it with a backup quarterback. We got a starting quarterback with a broken thumb. We got injuries, no receivers. We got all these problems, and we still sitting at 5-2. At the end of the day, I would prefer to fly under the radar. Okay. Let everybody write us off as they always do. Okay. And just because the moment you get that number one seed, there's a target on your back, and not to mention as a Cowboy. This organization already got a target.
But everybody, when you say the number one seed, everybody will be leaning like automatically Super Bowl. Like, not us.
Yeah.
Not us, the real fans.
Yeah.
Not us.
Yeah.
We will think about the number one seed as, okay, you earned that number one seed.
I'm going to think about it as the times that we went 14-2 and lost to Green Bay.
You're right about that.
Or the times we was 13-3,
but then again,
didn't make it out the first round.
When you play against those teams, it's like there is momentum. So you're right.
Yeah,
because that week where you take a bye,
you get lax and you get comfortable.
You can't take it for granted.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember Green Bay last year. Green Bay took a bye, and then San Francisco went up there and just beat them on 5-degree weather.
Yeah, and
it's like, okay, San Francisco is a West Coast team. How are you going to beat?
Yeah,
it just took one play and that was it.
And so that's why I think so. Let's say Philly will have the first round bye. If playoffs started today,
right?
Philly will have the first round bye.
Right.
The Giants will play Minnesota. We will play Seattle.
Okay, I would rather
play Tampa.
You know what? Okay, I would much rather.
I would much rather
play against Seattle.
Even if you flip it, if we get the number one wild card spot, then we go to Minnesota, which I'm also okay with.
I'm okay with it too, because Minnesota. But then again, like I said, what's his name? The quarterback. Oh, Kirk Cousins will peak. This is the time of year where your team will be on TV. You got to perform. You're going to peak. Everybody in Minnesota knows that.
We've seen enough years of Kirk Cousins to know how this is going to go.
Yeah, you could take your 5-1.
Yeah,
it's great, but you're going to peak.
Yeah,
just like the Cowboys.
Yeah,
when they get to December, they peak. Yeah. But over the last few years, they haven't.
Yeah,
except for 2020.
And the beauty of our December this year is we got one true test, and that's Philly.
Yeah,
so our December looks pretty promising for the most part. If we go, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we go 5-1,
so that would be
out of those 6, or even 4-2 out of those 6.
2, so that would be I'm gonna say 9 9-4. 9-4 heading to December, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's good enough for what, second place?
Yeah.
Depending on where the Giants go, and then the Eagles, obviously, the Eagles are going to be the Eagles.
I'm telling you, the Giants' season about to take a turn this week.
Okay.
It's about to take a turn this week. It starts this week.
You know what's going to take a turn? North Texas. which I am going to talk about right now, but I appreciate your insights.
Absolutely.
It's been great. So we just got to see what happens.
Definitely. It's a lot of fun, though. It's a lot of fun.
I like to hear that. I always love it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the Chicago game next week.
Yes, sir.
I love it. But to transition this, I'm so upset. It's heartbreaking. If anybody watched college football on Saturday, right? In this case, on Sunday, the replay. North Texas versus UTSA, right? We're both 3-0 in the Conference USA. Okay. Heartbreaking loss. And I say heartbreaking loss because we lost on the final drive. And I'm going to get to that final drive in a second. But first, the quarterback comparison. I always talk about my number one take is always with the quarterback, right? We got to, dissect the quarterback play. Ani. Now, Ani went 15 for 31 for 325 and 3 touchdowns and an interception. He didn't play that bad, honestly. It's just that, again, he's playing with receivers we never heard of. Accuracy issues. Like that conversation we always have. 30, you gotta throw less than 30 attempts to win the game, right? This game you threw 31. It doesn't set up great results. Ani's not that dude. He will never be that quarterback. Okay? Like I said before, during the offseason, I got to see more from him. In this game, we saw a lot, but he failed again and again and again, right? Numbers look good, but it's just, again, what's the end? What's the ceiling? Now, one other quarterback on their side, Frank Harris. Now, to their credit, they can throw their passes because Frank Harris is not one-dimensional. Frank Harris can do a lot of things. He went 27 for 39 for 238 and 2 touchdowns and an interception. That interception came early in the game. And shout out to Rich Tejada for getting that interception. That was his third of the season. And so, he took advantage of no quarterback spying on the middle of the field. So this was a bad defensive job on the North Texas side. You drop 8 in coverage. How you going to drop 8 in coverage when you're rushing 3? You drop 8 in coverage. That's a recipe for disaster. That's why he was able to get what? Rushing yards. He didn't even have 100 rushing yards. Like, damn. You drop 8 in coverage? What are you trying to do? Like, this man was getting 5 to 10 yards a carry. But yet, you drop 8 in coverage, forcing the pass, no quarterback spy in the middle. You got to be better than that defensively. And that goes on the field. Phil Bennett is a 40-year veteran. You're supposed to know you cannot drop 8 in coverage. Especially the game that we had where we had 7 sacks against Louisiana Tech. We didn't sack this quarterback much in this game. In this game, I think he got sacked twice. But you drop 8 in coverage and it forces them to throw the pass, but yet he runs for 10 or more yards. Like, dude, you got to change up. You can't change up your defensive scheme every single game. You got to stay with what is working. What worked was rushing 4 to 5 at the line of scrimmage, or maybe even 6. That's why guys like Mason Richards has 3 sacks in one game. Not this game, but the game before. It's ridiculous, man. And then number 2 point was the running game, which, by the way, They have some faster athletes. You got to give UTSA some credit. They have some athletes out there. Like, we knew coming in, the running game wasn't going to work. And obviously it didn't work. You go from rushing 475 yards as a team to what? 22 as a game. So 21 carries for 22 yards. They shut down the running game wholeheartedly. Period. And so, and this team banks on the running game. Period. It does. They do. But you can't run against athletes that are athletes. You can't do that. So, number 3, their top 3 receivers didn't really kill us as much. But then again, one of them had a game-winning touchdown pass. And let me give you those names. Joshua Cephas had 11 receptions for 88 yards and a touchdown. Oscar Cedeas, or if I pronounce his name correct, 3 receptions for 57 yards. He had a crucial catch to set up the game-winning touchdown. And this was the clock that was running, was under a minute. It was about 30 seconds left where he threw that pass, and Oscar made a one-headed catch, which it was probably played on SportsCenter Saturday night. It was a big catch, sets them up, for the game-winning touchdown, in which they got. And so you can't give him the amount of time. I just don't know why. This is why you don't drop 8 in coverage during the game. You just can't, especially on that drive. That drive, you rushed 3, and you forced them to pass, and they made 2 spectacular plays. You can't do that. You can't have your tight end come out of the backfield and just run a straight tight end route and catch a one-handed catch, which was an awesome catch. But you can't make those plays. You got to at least, if you're going to drop 8 in coverage, you got to have some form of pressure, some form of it, which we never had in the second half. The second half, we ran away from the pressure. I just don't understand this. And then you got guys like the Kerryon Clark make a catch. That was his 6th reception of the game. And that ended up being a game-winning catch, was so spectacular against one-on-one, against man coverage. You can't throw those games away. You can't throw those possessions away, period. You know what you should have done under 20 seconds? You should call the timeout. You know why? UTSA did not have timeouts. We had 2. Call a timeout. Set up your defense. When you call a timeout, they don't throw a pass like that. You make them beat you. But then again, I'm not a defensive coach. I'm just here observing the games on this podcast. And by the way, the reason why y'all did not win this game, because you didn't take a seat up here. You didn't come up here and do the interview with me. I would have asked you, okay, what happened on that play when the quarterback had a lot of time in that pocket and the tight end made a one-hand catch and the receiver makes a behind-the-back catch? Well, actually, a twisting catch on the goal line. I would have, and then y'all would be like reading from the script and like, oh, our coach told us to say this. No. I want the honest answer. And by the way, y'all can come up here and interview. I still haven't gotten a call back. I still haven't gotten an email. Y'all are big and bag and dented, but yet your record shows you're 500. You're 500. You haven't done anything. Like, what have you done? You haven't done it, John Jack. But yet you say you're the best in the league. You know who's best in the league? UTSA. 6-2, 4-0. You haven't done jack. Number 4. Number 4. There was some missed opportunities in this game. Harris, the quarterback, he runs for. This is why you don't ever drop 8 in the box. You go 3rd and 14 in the first half, right? There was one play, 3rd and 14. He runs for 16 yards. Okay? That's number one. Number two, the offensive line got torched. Okay? The running game was horrible. Ani didn't have enough time in the pocket. He got sacked 3 times, I think. Yeah, he got sacked 3 times. Number three's point, you drop 8 coverage means that you have butterfingers. There was a lot of interceptions dropped in this game on our side. Number 4, a blocked punt. Well, it was tipped, but that punt set up their 3rd score. You know, our coaching was horrible. You know, when you have your coach does not care. Your coach cares about fooling around when they go to when they do their little thing every week. They always talk to the coach and the players every week. You go up there to Rudy's Barbecue, which, by the way, I have no, you know, I don't want to disrespect their place, and I don't want to, and I am going to disrespect how they do their interviews every week, right? Y'all want to go play around, right? Y'all want to go ask stupid questions, you know, about, oh yeah, you know, outside of football. You know, what a stupid question is, you know, having fun when you lost by a touchdown. A good question would be like, what they do outside of football? That's a good question. A stupid question would be like, you know, what fun things? But yeah, you're a 500 team. What improvements are you going to make to make y'all relevant again? You haven't done jack. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Do y'all care? What was the goal going into the season? Was the goal just to play football? Yeah, everybody does that. The little kids out there play football. They do that. High school, college, everybody's played football. Is that the goal? The goal is to go get a conference championship. That is the goal. The goal is not to go 500. The goal is conference championship. We have not seen it. But yet y'all want to go to a conference that, oh, money's great. Oh, we're going to get more time on there. Yeah, that's great. But when you haven't won jack, I have questions, and I'm concerned as to why. Why should y'all move to a conference? God. But anyways, I did reach out to the AD Warren Baker. He has not responded, obviously, because being you know in a higher position, thinking that you're better than who you are. You're better than, oh yeah, our football program is great. We're making this great strides. What strides have you made? Other than building all that crap, spending money, all that nonsense in Denton. I talked about this last month. I said we have to win games. We have to. For that stuff to matter, we have to win. I don't care who you throw out there. Like, we got 3 quality high schools in Denton out there. I mean, they end up going to Texas. They end up going to the bigger colleges because they view UNT as a liability. Okay, we can start our career here, and then we can transfer. That happens every year. That's why every team in every school in America cannot keep the same players. It's a luxury, but every player is going to make their decision at the end of the season. Whether you're a freshman starting out, a sophomore, a redshirt junior, you're going to find a school that benefits you. You're going to find a situation like Katie Davis. He could have gone to school and won and been winning. But you stay at North Texas and you look at mediocrity. You're always going to be mediocre. The coach doesn't care. The players don't care. It's like if you look at their press conferences, it's like reading from a script that somebody gave them, saying that how great they are. They're not. They're not great. You're all decent football players, but you're not great. But I promise you, I will talk about basketball, though. I will talk about the NBA, and I will definitely talk about college basketball for a little bit. I will talk about college basketball on the UNT side. I mean, the men have more hope than the football team does. I'll go as far as saying the women. Women basketball at UNT, they have more hope than the football team does. Those teams are more relevant than the football team. But I will talk about that later on. All right. So my final take is we lost this game by 4 points. Our next game is against Western Kentucky, which I was listening to a podcast. I think we're 10-point underdogs against Western Kentucky. Okay, again, another loss. You're going to be under 500 again. Ridiculous. This is an opportunity where you should have got this game. You should have got this game against UTSA. It makes it easier for Western Kentucky to get that game too. So again, what's the goal? The goal is to win a championship in your conference. Not go there. It's to win it. Okay? Because you're going to a conference next year, you're going to see the same team again. You're going to see FAU again. And then you got SMU, and then you got Tulane, you got Tulsa. You got all those great teams in that conference. But then you got a mediocre team. I have a question. Can you ride with this coach? This coach is nothing. You don't care. I want a coach that cares. I want an African-American coach, by the way. I want a coach that cares, guys. Period. Kirby Smart at Georgia cares. Nick Saban at Alabama cares. That man is 70 years old. He still cares about football. Y'all don't care about Jack. Period. Period. The coaching staff does not care. And the fans are start to not care. So I did a stat, right? The stat was, fan-wise, that game against SMU, we had 25,000 people show up. That's 82% of people. And I was there for that SMU game. I was there. So I was part of that 25,000 that showed up. UTSA had 27,000 people show up. 27,000 for this game. This game wasn't even on ESPN. This game was on a stadium. 27,000 people showed up for a UTSA game. When you go to a UNT game, I don't care about the opponent. It dwindles. And I understand that we have there's a lot of distractions goes on. The fair, what distraction goes on? Baseball, other football games that people go to. There's a lot. Okay? People stop caring when they see the same mediocre crap. Okay? They don't care if you win against Texas Southern, UTEP. Those are easy teams to beat. We don't care about that. What we care about is consistency. Can we be consistent? And by the way, I think Apogee Stadium needs to expand their stadium by 30,000. Okay. If you add 30,000 more seats, and let's say maybe about you can fill up 45,000 of it, then I think it's suitable. But then again, you're not going to put 40,000 people in the stadium at UNT. You're just not going to. Because you know why? Because it's always the same crap every year. Heck, you can't even put 10,000 at the Super Pit. Because you know why? Because the team does not get enough credit for being the team as they should. You're coming off conference championships 3 straight years. They care. I mean, I can tell you the soccer program cares. The basketball program for men care. The women, I mean, you know, they screw around a lot. I don't know if they care enough to win every year. But then again, they only get about 10 fans. I'm sorry, but if they care, they'll expand their fan base, right? So I do think the women's basketball. I think they care. That's a question mark for me. I think they care. If they care, then they will come on for this interview and let me interview them. Okay, so with that being said, guys, we have to care football-wise. Football-wise, we have to care, okay? Because we got Western Kentucky up, and we got FIU, winnable game, right? Okay, but let's focus on Western Kentucky. All right, so I gave enough laughs and giggles and all that stuff. The show's over, guys. But I promise you, I will talk about basketball at some point because that's my sport. I have a lot of questions about that and a lot of content for you guys. So you want to stay tuned. But with that being said, thank you for listening or watching this podcast, and I'll see y'all next week. Take care, everybody.